Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rage at close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Though wise men at their end know dark is right, because their words are forked no lightning they, do not go gentle into that good night. Good men the last wave by, crying how bright their frail deeds might have danced in a green bay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. Wild men who caught and sang the sun in flight, and learned too late they grieved on its way. Do not go gentle into that good night. Grave men near death, who see with blinding sight, blind eyes could blaze like meteors and be gay. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. And you, my father, there on the sad height, curse, bless me now with your fierce tears. I pray, do not go gentle into that good night. Rage, rage against the dying of the light. By the famous Dylan Thomas, do not go gentle into that good night. And as we come back around to our good friend Micah, who has now committed a grave transgression. And for Cyber Knights, this is effectively a violation of their oath. This is kind of a big fucking deal, as Micah, in an effort to kind of quickly resolve the issue of his would-be assassin, we believe, who tried to shoot him with a concealed weapon, in a quick action, he sliced off the man's hand and then went directly for the head. Tio, the Cyber Knight who was with him, who agreed to help as long as this man was not injured, took this as a huge offense, and kind of rightfully so. And as such, because he had committed a major transgression, Micah's Cyber Knight powers, his ability to reach out, manipulate electronics, use his psionic abilities to project his sword, as well as the championage that he was granted by being a Cyber Knight, they all disappeared. He also now takes a penalty on his psionic rolls, which will kind of mess him up. But still angry, still hurting from the assassination of his sister. Micah seemed to care very little about this. And he and his man-at-arms, Jens, continued their hunt for the beast that slayed his sister. However, while out in the field, Micah received another premonition. But this one was not about just the coming fight against the coalition states and the city-state of Tolkien. This one had far-reaching implications that covered the entire world. He saw 4 threats that came threatening to devour the earth as it is and spread out across the multiverse, each one insidious in its own way. And Micah, fearful, watched, having no other choice but to watch the entire thing play out in front of him, where he noticed somebody who he had spoken to once before in a dream state. The one identified as Lord Coke. And Lord Coke apparently already knew about his transgressions. And in kind of a little bit of a surprise, he told Micah that he was disappointed, and that as Cyber Knights, with all these things coming, they must be better. So, we're going to come back into the scene. With everything that happened, I'm going to keep the chaos factor at an 8, which is really goddamn high, but that makes for wildly changing stories, which feels kind of appropriate right now. So we're going to roll against the chaos factor, and it is an 8. So we're going to say meets it, beats it. Scene progresses as normal. Now, my expectations here is that this scene is the tail end of the vision that he just had. So, he's having a bit of a conversation with Lord Coke, who I don't actually believe is here. He's just part of the visionscape. But let's roll on the Visions and Dreams table to see what happens next. We got a 46, which is hurry, and an 84, hurry, simple. Okay. Lord Coke. from this graying templed identification of just a wise old poet warrior. His armor is simple. There is no weapons at his side. The only thing that seems sharp on him, quite frankly, is his piercing eyes. And he looks over to Micah and goes, "There is no time to lose at this point tonight. We must get you back. We must bring you into the fold. I don't know how we can do that. It seems like you may already be set on your path. And I know better than to try to sway the opinions of young men who believe that murder is the only way that they can move forward. But I would also be foolish not to try to take the opportunity. I think it is critical at this juncture. I think your training has gone incomplete. And, most importantly, Micah, I do not wish to lose you to these feelings. Join us. Come out. We have a location in the middle of Kansas. If you can join us, we may be able to train you." And so I'm going to ask a fake question here. I'm going to actually give it as nearly impossible, but that is still 50-50. Does Micah, honestly considering giving up his quest to vengeance, that is a 6. So that is an extreme yes. Micah stops what he's doing. He looks up and he goes, "But training, no training, hunting down my sister's assassin, that beast will still exist. But what does that mean in the matter of all this? Look, the world is burning. And how can I stand against that?" Micah looks back over to Lord Coke, and there's almost the welling of tears in his eyes. And Coke just reaches out with a hand that obviously isn't actually there. And he goes, "Micah, you face against this by being better. Come, let us help you." And Micah shakes his head and goes, "I don't know if I can be better, but I need to be stronger. Tell me where I can find you. Tell me where I can come out and seek you." And suddenly there is a flash of vision. There's just a moment. Micah doesn't fully understand it, and so what I'm going to do here is give him a psionics roll. And I'm going to see if this is, and this is going to be a -2, but it's a D8, if Micah's mind can process the flash of information that's coming through him. It's a 1 and a 3, so it's a -1. I'm going to spend a Benny. I'm going to re-roll it because I feel this is important for Micah's development. Alright, 6 blows up. Alright, so a 10 minus 2, that's an 8. That's with a raise. Micah's mind tries to process it as quickly as he can in this dream state. And then suddenly he opens his eyes and he can see it. There is the basic beginnings. It's a small castle next to a ravine in the middle of what should otherwise be a desolate area. So, let's see. Where would this be? Where is Castle Refuge supposed to be? I think. Let me take a look at something here just to make sure. Where is Castle Refuge? Alright, well, he gets an image of a castle slowly being repaired. The wildlands around it seem to be relatively barren, but he notices at first that there's just a couple of small homesteads. Looks like maybe just the beginnings of farmland. And suddenly, I don't understand where this is, but I believe you, and I will find you. And as such, he suddenly blinks. He sits upright in the middle of this small wilderness. He looks around. He sees Jens, who is on watch. Jens stands up a little taller. He goes, "Hey, I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't sleeping, I promise." He goes, "Jens, do you know of a place called Castle Refuge?" I'm gonna... Let's take a look here. Allies, let's go over to Jens. Common knowledge is a D8 with its core electronics package. It adds +2. So let's see. He rolled a 1, but it's not Snake Eyes. Even with the +2, this may just be a little bit beyond just living in coalition states. He probably wouldn't have heard of this. I mean, Castle Refuge. I mean, I'm sure this place is probably in the Magic Kingdom, but do that. But no, my lord, I don't know any place that's really a castle. I mean, there's fortresses galore. Shit, I mean, we could probably just stumble into coalition states and find a fortress. Won't be necessary, but I appreciate your honesty there. So, we must find this Castle Refuge. I do not know where we're going to find it, but I have an inkling. And I think that we must go looking. Whatever you say, my lord. Sure. Yeah, that makes sense to me. Okay. So, we will carry on. You know, and I keep looking for a map that's going to show it, but, you know, what I'm doing is just kind of delaying myself, so. But, as Mike and Jens, we are going to, we'll actually call that a complete scene, as that kind of wraps up. I'm going to bring the chaos factor down a little bit. Micah choosing to go puts a little bit more organization, a little bit more structure to what he's trying to do. It's still in a 7. Anything can happen out here. So we will now roll on a 2. All right. So with a 2, I believe that is an interrupt scene. Okay. So let's adjust the scene as we expect it. The next morning as Micah and Jens get up. Let's see. 6. Add an object. Okay. What object? What kind of object? Let's find out. Magic item descriptions. That's kind of cool, but not quite. I think there's actually just an objects table. Objects. All right. 25 domestic and 60 domestic mechanical. Add an object domestic mechanical. Like a washing machine? That doesn't quite seem right. So let's throw in another description just to see. It's the actions table. I want descriptors. All right, 39 is frighteningly 55. Frighteningly lethal. Maybe. Okay. Add an object. Oh. Let's ask a fake question. Does this hunting cabin have a hidden cellar that holds a secret? 95. Nope. Okay. Well, that was worth a shot, right? Is there an issue with one of their hover cycles? 59. That is a yes. Okay. So, let's roll 2. We're going to say not out of control. There is a glitch with one of the hover cycles. As Micah goes to start his, there's a cacophonous sound that comes from it. Just and Micah stops and he's like, shit. Jens, please tell me you're handy with repairing things. And Jens kind of looks over to him and goes, I know a guy who might be able to help, but no, my lord, we're gonna have to ride that as is. Micah kind of looks down. He's like, fine. Let me see if I can take some time to repair it. 2 and a 3. I'm not going to spend a penny on that right now, but he kind of stops. He's like, I don't understand this. Shit. We don't need this right now. And Micah. Let's see. Micah decides he's just going to get on the bike. So we're going to give him a riding roll, a -1, as this thing now has a real glitch. 4 and a 3, he fails. Alright, I'll spend a penny on that. A 3 and a 2. Alright. He's going to save one. As they go to ride off, Micah's bike lets out just cacophonous noises. The glitch, whatever is causing it, just causes it to fire. Just poof. And Micah just knows if something is trying to find them, if something is listening, then they are going to be pretty much producing a trail to follow them. So let's roll. Give it D100. Oof. So they have potentially thousands of miles to go. And we're going to be, let's see, thousands of miles to go. That does not sound well. They can really only ride about 6 hours a day. And for each day, they're going to be rolling a survival roll. And we are going to be drawing 1 card per day to determine if there's a random encounter. So, let's start. Who's got the better survival, Micah or Jens? Micah does. By a long shot. Jens does not have a survival skill. So, D6. -1 because of his bike. Okay, the 6 blows up. For 9 total, 8, so it's with a raise. So, they continue moving throughout the day. They draw the 2 on the first day. As the night comes and goes, they make good time. Micah, a little surprised at this, glances down and around, watching as they weave in and out of some of the trees. The forests themselves seem to grow dense, but at times Micah almost seems to be able to navigate as though it's no real issue whatsoever. So let's see. Day 2. 10. They continue forward. Micah decides to brake for regular stops. He doesn't want to push the engine, especially while they're in the forest. They need to get further. They need to get away. He knows that there are assassins out there chasing them. Jens, of course, is happy to ride along. And as they stop for the night, they both take a look at both bikes, and they can't figure out quite what's going on. Day 3 is a queen. So, the Queen of Diamonds means we have a potential encounter. To find out what kind of encounter, we're going to turn to our handy Savage Worlds books. And as we flip through, travel. All right. On a motorcycle, they can travel, according to this, we'll say it's about 200 miles per day, so it's at least 5 days. The Queen of Diamonds, so diamonds means treasure on the encounter. Oh. Something I've wanted to try. Let's ask a question. Let's see. Face card or higher represents an encounter. Yes. All right. Do they encounter some abandoned spot that may potentially hold treasure? 30. This is a yes. Okay. Let's roll on locations to find what kind of location that they found. 43. Harmful. 99. Watery. Riding through. Micah spots it first. Well, let's give him a notice roll, actually. It's a D6. 5 and a 6. 6 goes up. So for a 7 total, Micah sees this thing off in the distance. And he radios over to Jens, who picks it up immediately. Jens, I think I see something off in the distance. It looks like a partially fallen tower in the middle of a lake. Do you see it? And Jens goes, I'm looking. Yeah, I spot it. Good eyes, my lord. What do you want to do about it? Let's roll 2d6. A ley line passes right through it. And Micah sees it. He goes, there's a potential here. We are close to the magic zone. Something like that could hold magic. It could hold something that may be able to help us. No. Sure, my lord, but is that really a wise idea right now? Micah goes, well, Jens, I have an issue. My powers aren't nearly as strong as they used to be. I've been feeling doubt. And so we need to take any advantage or edge we can find. Oh, okay, my lord. Whatever you say, but we should go in fully loaded and ready to fight. That I agree with. Come, let's go scout. And they pull the bikes over. And as they approach, the heavy footfalls crunching through. Let's see here. I'm going to use the 7 Deadly Dungeons from the Golden Glory, designed specifically for Savage Worlds, which I'm kind of looking forward to. I've been wanting to use this because it has the most fascinating ways to wild draw dungeons using just a deck of cards. So they approach this spot. They look across the lake. Micah goes, how comfortable are you with swimming there, Jens? And Jens looks over and he goes, oh, well, actually a pretty decent swimmer, my lord. How about yourself? I have learned to swim. I'm not a powerful swimmer. They both kind of look over and goes, well, let's tie up our stuff, lock down the bags. And so I'm going to give them both an athletics roll. Micah blows up to 12. 13, okay. And Yin's has a D10. Yin's gets out there and he begins to struggle a little bit. The oversized arm that he now has, of course, is starting to cause a real issue. He doesn't fully understand how to swim with it. And Micah comes back for him, swimming pretty cleanly through the water. And as he sees Yin's begin to struggle, he turns back. He goes, Yin's, I need you to focus, okay? Just remember, I know that your arm is now new and different to you, but you remember how to kick. You remember how to pull the water and make sure to push it away from you. Make sure that you are pulling yourself through the water with your arms. Don't try to take all the power in one spot. I'm going to give him... Alright, his vigor roll is a 10, so he does not suffer from a point of fatigue. Jens kind of catches himself. He goes, You're right, let's just keep going. And as they pull themselves up on the far shores, they both letting the water kind of like filter out of their backs. Their armor taking on some of it. Jens just kind of like flips up the chest plate and just a bit of water spills out. Micah looks down and channels a point into his techno wizard armor, and it quickly begins to push the water out. Just whoosh. His clothes are damp, but his armor's dry. They both kind of take a moment and go, all right. Well, I guess there's no turning back now. As they approach the front door. Let's see. So, prepare the dungeon deck by removing face cards, aces, and jokers from the deck. Alright, so I'll just use this deck right here in front of me because I have plenty. By ace, joker, you, yep, you, and you, and you, and that guy. Fuck you, ace. Get out of here, joker. Bye, queen. Jack. King. Ace, king, king. Damn, a lot of face cards. Queen, queen, all in a row. Alright. So, we are now going to start randomly generating a dungeon for them to crawl. First door as they come up. The door itself, let's see. Draw 3 cards, put them face up in front of you in a row. And the way it works, the first value is the width, the second value is the length, and that determines the number of exits from the room. If most or all cards are black, the exits in the rooms have doors. If they are red, they are open passages. Okay. Okay. So, as they push open that first door, it is a 2x4 room with 2 exits outside of where they first step in. Let's see. There are 2 diamonds, which means that there are 2 treasures in here, but nothing else. As they step in, this first room opens out. It's narrow. It's almost designed to be a receiving area, like a vestibule almost. And they glance around, and adorning all over the place is glittering gold. Jens gets a little excited. He goes, oh, my lord, holy shit. Whoever owns or owned this place, they like to show off, didn't they? Micah reaches up and taps with a fingernail along one piece, that rocks backwards, but he recognizes the soft, gentle motion of actual pure gold. Yes, they apparently are showing off. Let's continue. So, I kind of want to sketch this out, so I'm just gonna. So 1, 2, by 1, 2, 3, 4. Put the entrance there. Now let's see here. Number divided by 3. So there are 2 other doors. One to the south and one to the east. Micah gently goes forward. Let's give him a... Yeah, we'll give him a survival roll. 5 and a 1. He looks between the 2 and he pushes open one of the doors to a 4 by 6 room. Appears to be relatively empty, but it has 2 exits, or 3. So this room opens in all directions. So 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Connected by a narrow hallway. They step into what looks like a very large dining room. The table is empty. Nothing has been set. There's no cutlery. There's chairs, tables, but no signs of anyone here. Let's see. A 3 by 5. 1, 2, 3. 5. With 3 more exits. It almost looks like a grand hall here. One large door leads back to where they came from. But as they step through, let's see. There is movement. Let's see, what kind of movement is it? All right. And they step in. Long entry hallway. 78. Oh no, wrong die. Who is in this room? 16. Oh, my pages are all out of order. That's okay. Happy little accidents, right? Happy little accidents. Okay. Oh, that's not good. Stepping into this room, there is a burbling noise. It sounds like speech, as though being fed through a frog's mouth. And as they step in, all 4 eyes turn to them, or all 4 faces turn to them, as demons start to approach.